Hi everyone, Quillfan here again. My lovely friends, I got a new deck, which I know isn't a surprise to most of you, but this one specifically was such a huge surprise to me that I cannot even tell you how much I screamed and wanted to scream, especially when I took it out of his package, because I traded isn't the right word, because I actually did not have this deck before, but let's say I traded decks with Bart, or at least I want to trade, because I am still waiting for a deck that I want to send him. But we did not trade like decks we already had that we wanted to get kind of rid of, or that we just wanted to pass on. But he ordered a Polish deck for me, and I ordered a couple, some new German decks for him that he could not get in Poland, and I could not obviously get his Polish deck here in Germany. So we thought this would be like the easiest way to get our hands onto those decks that we really wanted. And he sent me the, I'm not going to try to pronounce this, and I can't close it because it's so tight, but he sent me this deck, which I really wanted to have. I saw, I actually forgot that Remco had done a very like short look into, or tiny bit of footage of it in his unboxing of the Medial Lenormand. I actually forgot that I have seen that. So I somehow stumbled upon a couple of those pictures online, and I was like, I have to have this deck. I have to have it. So that's when I contacted Bart. And he was so kind to agree to kind of trade decks with me. So this was the actual deck that we traded, or that I traded for. But Bart, just the man that he is, he asked if I wanted to have another Polish deck. And I mean, I don't have a clue of what is on the market actually in Poland right now. I'm sorry, but this is just the way it is. If it's not like gathering more attention, like worldwide, I usually don't. I'm simply, I did not know anything. So he sent me a couple of links, and there was one deck that I so fell in love with. And it was a self-published one, which wasn't expensive, to be honest. For a self-published deck, this really wasn't that expensive. But I had already spent a couple euros on tarot decks and on other things. So there were some birthdays in June. So I really had there was no way for me to spend, like, I don't even know, $25, I think, or something like that, around that line, on another tarot deck that I had just seen. I mean, I hadn't seen anything else but some of the major arcana cards. And so I really sadly said, okay, it's not the right time now. Just give me, or send me this one, and I'll be happy with it. And today his package arrived, and it was a quite huge package. And I was like, this looks a bit suspicious. And I actually did film the unboxing in a private video for him. Because I kind of thought there has to be something else in there, because why sending like a huge package for just one deck? So, yeah. And inside of it was the one deck that I so fell in love with this deck. It is special on so many levels. And I hope that you can see it or value it the same way that I do right now. This is the box it came in. It is just a simple tuck box, but as you can already see, like by the width of this box, is the deck is thick, like really thick. The cardstock is so thick and so unusual, which could be a minus to some people. I have to say that, because it is impossible to rifle shuffle this deck. It is very hard to overhand shuffle this deck, so I already did a reading with it, and I spread it all out on the table and shuffled it like this, and afterwards I overhand shuffled it, like only grabbing the last third of the deck and shuffling this one in. But I will show you later. But again, this is the box it came in, and it is called the Tarot Droga, which is translated to like the tarot way or road or path. And I will show you why it is called that. As you can see, the elements are heavily depicted or integrated into the pictures. Here you can see Temperance, obviously. It is by, let me just show you the name, because again, I am so bad at like Polish. So you can see it's 22 major arcana cards, 56 minor arcana cards, and there is an instruction in there as well, which I cannot read. Here you can see who, I think this is probably like the company it is printed by, I don't know. Although it is self-published. I don't know, I don't have a clue. If you can do anything with this information, then here it is. Because I actually really don't know. I have no clue. I'm going to quickly stack the deck for you, because I actually had it all separated already, but I want to show you the deck in its full glory. You can see this is the deck. I can't, there is no way I honestly can grab it with one hand like this. I have to get it like this, just so you have an idea about the thickness, which again, to me, actually, it just feels right. For this deck, this feels so right. I cannot even tell you how good this feels in my hands. But it can be a problem for some, I know. So I want to simply show you. I have the Tarot of the She here, which is in itself already a thick cardstock. So it is already a thick deck. I will show you another one as well later on. But this is the Tarot of the She in comparison to the Tarot Droga, and you can see the Tarot Droga is almost double the size in thickness of the Tarot of the She. This is how thick it is. This is like more normal cardstock. This is the trimmed Wurzeln Asiens tarot, like in English it's the Roots of Asia, but it's the German version. I cannot grab it right with one hand, but you can see, excuse me, you can see the difference, right? So this is very, very thick. Again, it feels just right to me. Oh, hi, Izzy. This is the back. You can see why it is called Path, probably. You have a labyrinth up here. It is not reversible, although at first glance, I really don't know. Excuse me, I have something in my throat right now. Probably a cat hair, huh? My cat is right here. You probably can see her tail. So again, I don't know if you really would realize it at first glance, although there are these reddish points which are only on one side. So it isn't strictly reversible to those who care. Size-wise, this is again the Tarot of the She. You can see the Tarot, I cannot align it. The Tarot Droga isn't as wide, you can see it here, but it is a bit taller. So it is quite huge for a tarot deck. Again, I don't have a standard card here, which is a pity because I'm not prepared. But it is pretty huge. Let me see, maybe I have something here. Yeah, I have an advertisement of a Lo Scarabeo, which is like a Lo Scarabeo size. So you can see it is taller and wider than Lo Scarabeo. It is actually a nice size for the thickness. So I actually really like it. Although it is hard to grab with one hand. Okay, I will quickly separate it off into the different suits and the majors, and I'll be right back. All right, here I am again with the major arcana. Just for the main setup, so you can see it at first glance. So you have the English title at the bottom. You have the Polish title at the top. For all other cards than the Fool, you also have the number as a Roman numeral. You have, as you can see here with the Magician, you have the astrological associations, you have the elemental association, and you have the Kabbalistic association, or let's say the Hebrew letter. So there is quite a lot of going on the border itself. So I won't trim those, like, for sure. I definitely will black the edges because, I mean, it's black at the back, it's black at the front, so I will black those edges, but I just got this deck, so I haven't done that. And as you can already see, now you know why it's called the road or the path. And because those cards, I will only lay down a couple because you can see already the glare. It is a bit, I mean, I am in front of the window, so it is shiny, whatever I do and whatever the cardstock is like, but it isn't actually like super glossy, but it is definitely a shiny cardstock. But as you can see, you can align those majors. Actually, you always, or the way they are depicted in the little instruction booklet is in two lines of 11 cards. So because then it would make sense, like it goes on like this. This one goes down. But you can see how beautiful they are connected already. And this isn't like the only way. And they make a circle. They make a full circle, which I love, 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 love. And which gives the cards a very nice feel of like interconnectiveness, simply. And not only the majors, actually. It's the same feeling, even though there is no path in the minors. You only have this path in the major cards. But it has quite similar feel for the minors as well, which is gorgeous. And I did a reading with this deck, kind of a more spontaneous interview, or deck interview. Not like the typical spread that I sometimes do, but it's more spontaneous and more intuitive. And it really felt like this deck would read best if I wouldn't just pull one card as an answer for a question, but like pulling 2 cards or maybe even 3 would give like the full information, the round picture that I want in an answer. So I don't know if it will stay that way because I actually only got this deck today. So I am not quite sure if this is like a very, very much a characteristic of this deck. But for me, it really feels right to draw a couple cards. And because of this connectiveness of the cards, because of this feeling that the cards belong to each other. But you probably want to see the pictures, right? You want to see those beautiful cards. They are special. As you can see, I am pretty darn bad at describing art, but just from the way they appear, it looks almost like they were drawn with chalk, kind of chalk. I think it's chalk, because it doesn't look like typical, I don't know, watercolors or oil paintings. Not even like pencils or stuff. It really looks a bit chalky. And I don't know what surface it was drawn on, but this isn't paper. I mean, this is paper, obviously, but the original picture, I don't think the original picture was drawn onto paper, because there is so much structure going on, like underneath the color, which makes it very, very, very special. I love that we have like this, the background color, like the color at the bottom is this dark grayish or almost black color, and then you have the other colors on top. I really like this. I really like this for this deck. Okay, but take a look at the card itself. You can see that there is a lot of the symbolism, like the typical Rider-Waite-Smith symbolism going on here. You have the white flower, you have the companion here, you have the sun rising, you have him holding something. I don't know, it looks a bit like a dandelion blossom. Like this puff of dandelion in his hand, which would make sense. He has a staff. He doesn't have like a bundle. I don't mind, actually. He's naked right now, which again makes perfect sense for the Fool. And he's stepping onto the path, but you also have this cliff. So here is like the cliff and the water below. So you have all the symbolism you need for the Fool, and it is pretty evocative. I really love this one. Same for the Magician. You can see there is everything in here you need, everything you could ask for in regards of the symbolism, you know, or you're comfortable with after reading with the, or after learning the Rider-Waite-Smith. So, and it goes further than that as well. So it's not only the Rider-Waite-Smith meaning, but you have meaning on top of that as well. I love the High Priestess. Oh. I just love how a priestess is with books like that. And it's just, look how the path is going through the knowledge, through this inner knowledge, through this book. Isn't this just beautiful? And you have the black and white pillars, you have the moon here, you have the triple goddess here. It's just stunning. Okay, there is nudity in this deck. Forgot to say that. Abstract, drawn on nudity. It's not like photographs or something. If you have a problem with that, not your type of deck. Here we have a gorgeous looking Empress. It's just beautiful. You have the moon as well here. You have all the stars and like that we know with a crown, but we have them just around her head. We have her. We have the red at her feet. Almost like a stream. You have, which I really like, you have the road that is going through the picture that is very rooted here. Isn't this just beautiful? It's just gorgeous. I love the Emperor as well. You have the sun behind of him. You have the eagle with him. You have the road that is made of bricks. Instead of here, it was like more like sandy or more like very natural looking with the roots down. It's just stunning. So there is so much you can do with this deck. Look at this Hierophant. Look at the sheep at his feet, which is very controversial. So you can read this card, very controversial, depending on how you would like to see it. So it is a shepherd. Like you have this staff here, which you can either like or dislike. So you can really make up your mind as to your own how you would like to read this card. Because I know that the Hierophant sometimes is a card that is viewed like controversially. So I really like the Hierophant. My aspects of the Hierophant, my things that I associate with the Hierophant, but I know that not all people do. So I really like that. I love that you have this, the star, the six-pointed star on top. Oh, it's just gorgeous, gorgeous. Look at the lovers. Again, you have, I love that you have this almost split image in regards of the color, like with the bluish background and with the more yellowy background here. You have this crossroad. You have like, it's just, I mean, look, I could look at all the cards and just say, look to every one of you, because they are so stunning and there is so much depth in those cards. And in the same instance, you don't even need all those symbols in the cards. You don't have to really study the cards to be able to read with them, because they are quite intuitive and they are quite evocative. So stunning, just stunning. And I am so sad that I haven't heard of this deck more, because it is stunning, just so you know. Just so you know. The Chariot, just again a brilliant, lovely picture of the Chariot. You have Justice as 8, as you can see. I love that we have the three-headed dog here. It's just beautiful. Look at this hermit. Can you see it? I have to come a bit closer because of the glare, I think. Because he actually does have such a beautiful face. I don't know if you can see it, but he looks so like soft in his face. I just love it. And I love that we have the sun, the moon, and stars here in his lamp, which is an oil lamp. You have him coming to the end of the road to have, to just know the way that he has to take. It's just amazing. I love the simple depiction of the Wheel of Fortune. Really like the Strength card, which is called Fortitude, as you can see. It almost looks as if she wanted to straddle this lion, like there is a saddle on top of him, and he has this kind of reins. But they are loosely, very loosely hanging from his mouth, and he doesn't, I mean, he could just turn his head and everything would be fine for him. So it's not as if he's really forced in whatever way. The Hangman. Oh, look at this Death card. And I love that he is riding on the rainbow. I mean, this is almost a bit kitschy, but I really like it. I really like it. And I love that we have the river here, and we have this road ending at the river, because you all know that a river has so much mythological meaning in almost every culture. So it's just stunning that it is integrated in here. I just love it. You have Temperance working on the rainbow, leading it forward. It is quite typical. You have the angel wings. You have a very rigid looking devil. It is very dark. I don't know if you can actually really see it that well. And what I love is you have the black sheep running here as well. So it kind of links a bit to the Hierophant, which I again like, because it is not necessarily a warning, but there is this kind of connection if you go too far with the Hierophant. So I have problems right now really to say what I mean in English. I mean, I have it all laid down in my head in German, but I have difficulties right now to really verbalize what I mean. So I hope you bear with me. Here we have the Tower. And what I like about that is you have the Tower being destroyed. You have this eclipse here, which I really like. You have the road ending at the Tower. So there definitely is an ending. But then again, you have those people hanging from a ladder. And as you know, you have the path. So this is the way the path will go on. Like you can see here. So they can climb up the ladder to the star. Isn't this beautiful? I mean, isn't this just stunning? Here we have the star, which I love. I just love her. Goodness. Beautiful moon card. It is, again, very dark, so I hope you can see it right. And again, you have everything you know from other cards as well. A sun card. No creepy naked children on a horse, riding on a horse. There are children in here. Yes, they're not very creepy. They're, I don't know, happy dancing around a tree, whatever. So I like it. I actually really love this one. I don't know if you can see it. You have a woman here, you have a man here, and they're holding up this child. Like almost giving it up to the earth, giving it birth. So really like it. A very standard looking, but gorgeous looking world card. And I love that you have all the elements in here. It's just stunning, just stunning. So this is the major arcana. Now to the minors. I haven't even said that, but the minors are pip style minors. So you don't have fully illustrated minors, but they actually make sense the way they are depicted, which is quite interesting. I'm going to start, even though I don't do that normally, but I will start with the ones, because this is the one that I read it about. Not necessarily read it about, but this is the suit that I saw first, because I at one point I researched a bit online when I was so sad that I couldn't get this deck. I did a bit of research, and I found actually the one suit, pictures of the one suit, and I was thinking like, these make sense. The way they are depicted, this makes so much sense. So I actually really like it. And I'm not opposed to pip style decks anymore, I have to say that. I was for a very long time, but I am not anymore. So you can see these are all the aces, typical aces. But what I really like about this is you really have this color scheme going on through all of the cards. So you have this light blue with these clouds in the background for all the swords cards. You have this dark blue, almost watery background for all the cups. You have this fiery yellow, orange, reddish background for all the wands, and you have a brownish and green background, very earthy, mossy background for all the pentacles. So I really like this because you can see at first glance what suits you're in, which I really like, which obviously you could as well just because of the depiction of cups and wands and swords and pentacles, but just from the color scheme, I already like this very much. So again, just for once, I will start with the wands, just so you can see what I mean when I say that it is actually, it makes sense the way it is depicted. So you have the Ace of Wands. There is not much to say about that. You have the Two of Wands. You have those choices. You have not much going on already. You haven't things that are built already, but you have this, like a choice you have to make, which I really like. The Three of Wands, like the energy coming towards it, like almost pulling it in. The things you already have achieved, these go together. So it is, again, there is quite a lot you can do with it. Obviously, everyone will read it differently. You don't have to read it the way I do, but I just want to quickly show you that the way these are depicted really makes sense. Like for the Four of Wands, you really have a stable figure here with all the wands, with one wand at each side. So definitely there is stability, a lot of stability in this picture. The Five of Wands, you definitely have a discord here going on. As you can see, they're all coming at each other. You have this one here separating the other two. So there is definitely discord going on here. Whereas with the Six of Wands, I almost have this feeling of firework, like really there's some form of celebration, like really dripping out of this picture. And again, you only see 6 wands, so there is not much going on here. 7 of wands. I could go on for all the cards, but I will just show you the rest of them because, I mean, standard, but also very beautiful, like this there's movement shown in these cards. The 9 of wands. I just love them. I mean, look at this. Look at this 10 of wands. Like really, definitely there is heaviness. There are things loaded onto this poor little one wand here. So this has to talk about perseverance. This has to talk about maybe having too much on your shoulders. So like the positive and negative effects of the 10 of wands. So really like it. And then look at those cards. Aren't they just beautiful? You have knaves. As you can tell, the knaves you always have in this kind of, I don't know, toga. Is this the same word in English? I don't know. And you have them with a shield and the symbol of the suit on the shield. Whereas the knight, you always have the knight on a horse and holding the symbol of the suit. And then very classic, you have the king and the queen. What I like is they look at each other. At least this way. If I put them this way, they won't. But I like to have them looking at each other. And they really do look at each other. They're looking straight forward. So you just have them sitting on the throne and holding the symbol of the suit. But I love them. I just love them. Okay, so this is the ones. I'm not going to talk about every card with the other suits because you will figure it out. You will figure out what I mean. So let's quickly take a look at the swords. For all the the minus, you only have the symbol of the element at the bottom right. Here we have the 2 of swords, the 3, oh, piercing through this one sword. This definitely is a form of rest, isn't it? I just like it. The 5 of swords, the 6. I don't even know. There is this little symbol. If any one of you knows this symbol, please leave a comment in the comment box below, because I don't know it and I haven't. I mean, I cannot read the booklet, not booklet, but the 2 pieces of paper that came with this deck. I cannot read it because it's in Polish, and I haven't found the symbol in those on those pages, or I would have asked Bart to translate the little passage, or I would have asked Google Translator. I don't know, but I did not find it. So you have like the symbol for the element here, just as usual with all the other cards, but for some cards there is this little symbol at the bottom as well. And I don't know what it means, but I would love to know what it means. So if you know, please tell me. So 7 of swords, 8 of swords. Again, there is this little symbol here. And there were for a couple of the ones as well. 9 of swords. The 10 of swords, and again you have the page or the knave, the knight, and this time they're not looking at each other. The queen and the king. Now the water. I wanted to say the water. The cups was the right word. So here's the Ace of Cups, the 2 of Cups very close together, almost huddling together, the 3 of Cups, the 4 of Cups. You have this 1 cup standing upright, all the other cups are dripping down. The 5 of Cups, the 1 little cup alone in the middle, all the others almost leaving him. The 6 of Cups, 7 of Cups, the 8 of Cups. Again, it's a very obvious picture, isn't it? The 9 of Cups, the 10 of Cups. Again, this is just, it's so, I mean, could you read this if you didn't have any knowledge of tarot whatsoever, of the card meanings whatsoever? Probably not. I don't think that you could read it purely intuitively. Even though the pictures do have, like, without having a scene or a scenic representation, you just, in the way the cups are arranged, you have a specific message in the card, so you can get that. Would this be enough to read the card full on without any other knowledge? Probably not. But most of us do have at least a bit of knowledge of either numerology or like the typical Rider-Waite-Smith meanings of the minor arcana. And if you have some form of information in the back of your head, are then those pictures enough to bring forth this memory and maybe add to it? Yes, they do. So I think they're just fully enough, at least for me. I like this one. I like this, the Knight of Cups, and I love the Queen of Cups. I love that even if the background isn't typically, it isn't the same as with the rest of the cup suit. For the court cards, all have this kind of whitish, yellowish background, but the seams or the folds in the dresses of all of the court cards is the main color of the background of the suits. Oh, my goodness. This was hard to bring out. So, here we have the King and the Queen. I love it. And last but not least, the Pentacles. So, I love that it's this mossy background here. I just like it. 5. The 6 here again, we have this little symbol that I don't know what it means. 7 of Pentacles. Would I trim this deck? Heck no. Heck no. I love the 9 of Pentacles. I love it. I love this feeling of there is almost completion, but this one thing have to fall in there. Love it. Or maybe you could do it other way around, like the one that is raising up from the mass. So either way, perfect. Love the 10 of Pentacles. Here we have the Knave of Pentacles, the Knight, and the Queen and the King. So I just realized that the only Queen and King looking at each other are the ones one. All the others are looking into the same direction. Would have liked it better if they were looking at each other all the way through, but this is just the way it is. So I am not going to really shuffle the cards now and lay them down for you. I'm just going to randomly pick a couple and lay them down, because I can only shuffle this deck if I would, they all want to be read. If I would mix it on the table, there is no way I can shuffle it elsewhere. I mean, you can see that if I grab it, I can only grab, like at maximum, I can grab almost half of it to shuffle it, which isn't that much. I mean, you could do, but there's still a lot of this deck in my hand still. So what I like to do is, like, for the first, like real shuffling, I like to spread it out and just mix it on the table, and then I like to shuffle it, overhand shuffle it a couple more times. Let's mix those in as well, and then I will simply lay down a couple cards so you can see how well they look together. I love this feel of this deck. It feels like it will be A, that I will work with this deck thoroughly, and B, that this will be a deck that would age beautifully. I don't know if you know what I mean with that, but this feels like you could work with it for a very long time and it would look stunning if it looks a bit worn. So I love it. I love it, period. So just simply lay down a couple cards. I'm just going to lay down a line here because of the glare. Let's add one here, simply because I can. You can see at very first glance, you can see what you have here. Like there are four swords cards here. At very first glance, you see that there are 3 court cards. So I like that you really don't have to really study the cards for very long to be able to grasp what is laying there. I hope that a couple of I would like to have a couple mages come down as well, but again, it's hard because I couldn't shuffle, or I can't shuffle this deck that well. Oh, yeah, we have some. I'm just going to lay down a couple, the Emperor, the Empress. They're not shuffled nicely. But again, and what I like is if you do another row, you have even the interconnectedness with the cards, like for up and down because of the path. Love it. So I'm not going to do a reading now. I have to work with these cards myself first in a better way, but I can say that the reading I did with it was lovely. They read like a dream. The message was gorgeous. Very gorgeous, a bit soft. No, soft is the wrong word, but the voice was as if someone was talking with you with a very quiet, very serene voice. Like just very, I don't know, very earthy. The whole deck feels super earthy. So if I have to give it one element association, it would be earth. No doubt about that. So gorgeous, just gorgeous. I don't want to rant any longer. If you like this deck, it is the Tarot Droga, as you can see here, and you have the artist as well in this picture. I think it can only be bought in Poland, but I might be wrong, so maybe if you search for it, you will find it elsewhere. And that's it from me. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Bye.